Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Mission Matters. My name is Adam Torres, and if you'd like to apply to be a guest on the show, just head on over to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. All right, so today is a very special day and a very special episode. Finally, I'm catching up with Esther Anaya. For those of you that don't know, Esther is a talented DJ, singer, songwriter, producer, violinist, host of the Esther Anaya Show podcast, which we help produce. Esther is she's one of the first, or she is the first Colombian female to hold a DJ residency over at Zouk Group Las Vegas. She's making waves, and I'm really enjoying watching her journey and just watching the music and just being a fan myself. And Esther, not enough of an intro there. Hey, I'm just excited to finally have you on the show.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here with you, and thank you for that beautiful introduction. Wow.
And I forgot one. Wait a minute, on my list, and philanthropist. So ASAP Angels. We'll talk about that as well. How could I forget that one? Come on.
We'll talk about it too. Yes, a lot to talk.
So Esther, for those, first off, we'll get into the music, of course. And when I think about the music, you're, in my opinion, a rule breaker. So when we think about, yourself being a classically trained violinist and vocalist, and some of the things you're doing with violin, I've never seen. I'm a fan of classical music, and I'm also a fan of your music, and I just see some of the things you're doing. But before we get into the music, I want to know, so where did this start? Where did this fascination with music begin for you?
I will say that this fascination for music started since I was very little. I was probably 3 or 4 years old. Since I knew what the sound of music was. My father is a composer. He plays the guitar and a singer. And I remember him playing music and songs to my mom. And I grew up around music, and music just made them so happy. My dad would compose songs for my mom, and he would bring me around. He'll be like, "Come on, sing with me, sing along with me." So it was our bonding time until literally I was 7 years old, and that's when I knew what music meant. I was a little bit older, so I actually had my first encounter with music at the age of, it was 6 years old. I was very young, myself playing the piano, and asked my dad for a violin, but I was very young.
Wow. And so when did you know that the violin was going to be your thing?
Well, I watched a movie at the age of 7 years old. I remember watching this movie, and it was a girl that she was a violinist, but she was playing on the streets, and she was an orphan. And I remember it really marked my life because I saw the movie, and I saw the little girl playing with her little brothers, and she was making music, and that was a way of living. She was making a living and supporting her family. And the first time I heard her playing the violin, I was like, "Oh my God, what is that? Sounds so beautiful!" And I was like, so my dad was like, "I want that. You know how you are when you're so little."
Yeah.
And that I knew I wanted to play that beautiful instrument that sounded like angels. And my dad said, "Okay, I'll get you a violin, but there's only one here. You have to promise me something." And I was like, "In this family, if you start something, you never quit." And I said, "Okay." So since that moment, I knew I was never going to quit the violin.
Wow, that's an amazing story.
I made that promise to my father.
And so you're obviously so many years of playing the violin and progressing in your music. So you're classically trained. When was I don't know if it was a progression or if there was a moment, but when did you start kind of breaking out of maybe some of that classical mold and maybe experimenting or reimagining what was possible with the violin?
Well, I'm going to tell you a little story, which it was kind of funny. Growing up, I was always in orchestras, right? And one of the things, I used to get bored at reading the music the whole time for 20 minutes. Your eyes, classical pieces and concertos, they're all 30 minutes long to 40 minutes pieces. And in orchestra, you have to read. And I would get bored. And I remember I will memorize a couple of pieces, and then I'll go to my class, and my teacher will be like, "Esther, you have to read the music. You cannot memorize it. Don't look at my fingers. Just got to follow by ear." And at that moment I said, I need to start doing, I like this, all the genre of music. I respect classical music. I love it so much. And I was like, I want to explore other things, my imagination. And moving to this country, to the U.S. from Colombia, I was around like 14 years old. And I remember I had the opportunity to audition to perform with DJs. At that time, it was very young. And one of my violin teachers at Cerritos College, because I went to Cerritos College it was like after school program with college students. And from high school, I was able to go there. And she was like, hey, Esther, you should audition for this. You could play by ear, and then you don't have to follow the music sheets. And then I auditioned to some of them, and I actually got the gigs, because it was like gigs. I was underage, so I was able to do a couple of these private events. And doing that, it's just like it opened my eyes to all these different genres, from hip hop, house music, top 40s, even Persian music, Arabic music. And that I knew that the violin is not only an instrument that plays at the orchestra, it's an instrument that could be a star on its own and get out of the bubble. It's something that I always said I wanted to make sure I was an ambassador of that, and that creativity should never be put into a box, or like, oh, you cannot do more than this. If you play the violin, you cannot be more than like first chair on an orchestra or a teacher. No, there's like way other things that you could do as a violinist. And I was like, this is what I want to inspire others to take and think outside the box and never let limitation take over and just go for it. And that's what I did with all the different genres. I started just playing and following my heart and following, with my classical techniques, by just letting it flow. And that's where it all started.
It's a great story. And one of the things you mentioned that I want to take a moment to recognize is you mentioned, coming to the United States. And for me, obviously, being a musician and, making in the music business in general, very tough. A lot of different things that people can spend their time on in terms of, both from the producing side and also from the listening side, the consumer side of things. But to, add that layer of, being an immigrant onto that, in my opinion, can sometimes make things a little bit more interesting. I mean, tell me a little bit more about what that was like to come over here and to kind of work through that as a musician.
Yeah, it was tough. Definitely tough. Moving to this country and not speaking English is hard, as a lot of my immigrant people know, because I'm an immigrant Latina. We only speak Spanish. So coming here, I need nothing. Yeah. But I knew music, and through music actually got me to play in like different orchestras, like Pasadena Orchestra for the Pasadena College Orchestra, the Young Musician Foundation that is located at the UCLA. I applied to all these orchestras. I didn't speak that much English, but I knew how to play violin, and that got me to learn how to speak more English, because nobody spoke Spanish in the orchestra. And it was so funny, because music helped me to learn English, I would say. And it's just knocking on doors. I never forgot what my passion and what my goal and my dream was since I was very young. And even coming to this country, it was a lot of obstacles, like language barriers, culture barriers, not enough opportunities. I didn't know anybody. So just knocking doors and knowing that music was going to be the way of accomplishing my dreams, I stayed focused on that. And that opened a lot of doors. Being in orchestras, auditioning for shows, for when I played at the All-Star game with Rihanna and Kanye West, that was through an audition that came through one of the orchestras I used to play at that time, and they came over auditioning for the All-Star game in 2011 with Rihanna and Kanye, and I was like, I sign up, I'm there. So I passed the audition, and in that moment, I was like, there's so many opportunities in this country that all we have to do is knock doors and take every single opportunity. And that's what I think I did with music.
And I mean, some of the names you're talking about, Rihanna, Kanye. I mean, I know, not to spoil it, we're going to talk about it some more too, but song coming out with Snoop. I mean, just the list of your accomplishments and what you're doing. I know we all learn from, some of the ups and the downs and, what life sends us. If you could go back to that Esther that was just getting started and just kind of really understanding that, music was going to be, her life and a major component of her life as a career, what kind of things would you tell her?
I would probably say to myself to kind of cover my ears a little bit more and not react to negativity. I think reacting to other people's comments could sidetrack you for a bit. I think I would have sped up things a bit faster if I would have never gotten sidetracked by what people would say, by, oh, it might be too hard. And I'm like, okay, I need to slow down and maybe I should do this, X, Y, and Z. So fear was a little bit part of my journey as, a female in this industry that is male dominated. And my dad or my mom were never my managers involved in my career at all. They were my cheerleaders on the side, but everything else was literally, I'll probably say, just guidance by God and the opportunities. So the fear I had at that moment did affect a bit on my decision making and just what people were going to say, or like just because I was afraid I was not too fluent in English, or like scared of rejection. And I little by little started learning that more, that I'm at this point, I could care less. But if I would have known that earlier, that would be a different story. So not reacting to negativity and fear is just as a mind trick completely. And that would have definitely, and put everything, thank God, I'm a very spiritual person, so always kind of like ask for guidance, and I felt like the right doors and the right opportunities opened up. But there was a lot of opportunities that I could have taken that would have helped me even more. And I realized that now that I look back on my life, and I was like, wow, I can't believe I did not take advantage of X, Y, and Z because I was scared. I was like, scared of what? So it's like, yeah.
It's so tricky. I mean, for anybody, and a lot of the things that you just mentioned. I mean, whether it's music, whether it's business, like many different careers, and just dreams. What you just said just applies to, like fear. It's a thing, and then figuring out what's the right move, and then kind of looking backwards and saying, I could have did this, or should I have done this or that. Like it gets in all of our headspace, no matter what the size of the platform, right? Totally.
And I feel like life is it's so beautiful by itself. Like, it is so many lessons to be learned that, like, failure and fear are two things that I feel that were never taught to us growing up, and especially coming from immigrants and Latinos. Parents come here to this country scared themselves. So this is what is passed on to our generation coming here, because it's like, oh, they come to this new country and everybody's like fear everywhere. Like, I'm going to say this, I need it or this and that. You don't know. So people are very under fear. And I feel that that's something that in this new generation should be more like awareness. Like, like failure is okay. Failure, it actually helps you to learn how to do things the right way. Like nobody showed me how to like become successful at what I am until I actually made the mistakes I did and figure out the way where I should direct my efforts to, so I don't waste time in certain things. So that's something that really, really in my life has been of good influence, just knowing that those things are not important anymore, are there, but it's not affecting my life anymore.
Awesome. So I want to switch it up a bit here. So I'll tell you. So the other co-founder here, Chirag, shared this video of you the other day performing in Vegas, and I was just blown away. I'm like, oh my gosh, Chirag gets to go out there and have all the fun. But I saw you on stage, and it's just an amazing, amazing show. So I guess tell us a little bit more about the residency that you have going on right now.
Oh my God. So exciting, because I always dreamed of having residency in Vegas, and having my own show in Vegas eventually. So accomplishing that has been something that I feel like, wow, I've been waiting for this moment. I worked so hard for it.
Yes,
but it's amazing because it feels so great to know that people enjoy. You can make people smile. You can create experiences for people to come to Vegas. That is an international, I think, like entertainment capital of America and one of the capitals of the world. And having that opportunity to share the craft and the talent that God has given me with people that come and they enjoy it, it's one of the things that is very satisfactory in my career. And not only that, but test my music. Like I'm able to, the unreleased music I play and I see the reaction of people. And it's like, it's great. I'm like, they like it. This is my purpose. I want people to enjoy. I want people to take a moment in their life and they're like, oh my God, I remember the violinist, the DJ, the singer, and did this. I love the song she played. I think that's like, as an artist, it tells you that you're doing the right thing.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's a great story. What does it mean to you to be, obviously a woman, Colombian, DJ, violinist, to have that combo or that mix right there and to be on the residency? I mean, it's quite an achievement. Like, what does that mean to you and to, like, the culture?
Well, it means that I have a lot of more work to do and that I have a responsibility. Meaning that I am giving an example to other people who dream they could have a residency or are females and living in a small town in Colombia, or not even Colombia, any other country, you name it. If I did it, you can do it too, right? But not only that, but the example that I give by being in the place that I've been placed is one of the most important things that I feel for me. I want to make sure I give the right example and the right inspiration for people to know that it's possible and to know that once you get there, it doesn't get any easier at all. It's just a journey of hard work, consistency, and persistency. And if that's what you want, that's where you will get. And that's where you will be. And I enjoy it and I love it. And just representing my Latinos, representing Americans too, because I'm half American too. And I'm a woman in this industry. I didn't know that there's space for everybody.
So I haven't had the opportunity yet, with everything finally opening back up, of course, but I have yet to go to Vegas to see Resorts World Las Vegas. Tell me a little bit more about this venue, because, I've seen pictures and things like that, but it looks spectacular.
Oh, my God. It's so much fun. If you guys are in Vegas, definitely have to check out Resort World. This hotel has 3 hotels in one. Not only that, the food, they have a section that is street food. And the food is amazing, from like Asian food, like Vietnamese food, like boba places, like sushi. They have caviar lounge. They have American food, Mexican place, a steakhouse, like everything you actually want, they have there. Even vegan ice cream, amazing stores too. Well, actually, one of my friends is the owner of the steakhouse, Harbor Steakhouse, which I highly recommend it too. And they have a rooftop on the 62th floor where you oversee the whole city, which is beautiful. And the clubs, oh my God, of course, for me, they're the best. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people agree with that. We have Tiesto in the house. He's one of the persons DJs that I admire the most. Zed, I work with Zed. Love him. DJ Snake, another one of my friends. So these are like top of the DJs that have residency there with amazing shows. We have Cash, Disclosure, Nervo is there. So the venue is very, very dynamic. It has so many artists with amazing talent and so unique. And the pool parties get really crazy on the weekend. So if you're looking for a turn up, great food, great ambience, you have to come there. And plus, you'll see me there too.
I'm sold. I'm looking at all the pictures and stuff. I'm like, I'm sold. I have to make it out there now that everything's opened back up and I see packed venues. I think it's going to be awesome. So a little bird told me by the name of Chirag, right? The other
I love him.
Little birdie by the name of Chirag. Our audience is listening. Why does Adam always call Chirag a birdie? Because I don't know. That's what we call him. But so come on. So what's going on with this song and Snoop and I mean all this stuff that's coming down the line to me? I'm like I don't get to hear much, but when I hear something, it's usually pretty cool. So what's going on here? I seen a picture I think on Instagram. Like what's going on here?
Yes, I'm so excited about this. It's a collaboration with Snoop Dogg. Wow. You know what? I grew up listening to his music, and now it feels surreal to know that I am collaborating with him, and it's just so dope because he's an inspiration to me. And I remember when I met him, I was like, just like, oh my God, like, I mean, you're so dope. I'm just so blessed that we're working together and doing this hybrid of house music with rap that I was able to compose. And he's rapping on it. Oh my God, I'm excited because it's coming out on 4/20. It's called BAYC. And this song is the new anthem of the BAYC, so the 4/8 Yacht Club. I'm telling you guys now before it comes out. So you guys have to listen to it. I'm going to send you a link to the song. It's really dope. It has a very groovy vibe that will bring you to the old school rap style of Snoop Dogg and with a cool drop because as a DJ, I focus a lot on house music. I do from deep house, tech house, and mainly big room. And this song has a combination of a 4 on the floor with a cool drop, so a modern house. And it's just going to make you vibe and dance and put your hands up, just how it did on my last show. I tested it and I was like, okay, this works. I sent the song when Snoop Dogg heard the song and then saw the video, he really loved it. So we're going to be working a couple of projects together in the NFT world. So I'm very excited to share that with you guys in the future. So, but yeah, a lot of good music is coming out starting this Wednesday.
Oh, that's awesome. What was it like to? I saw the picture of you both in the studio. What was it like to work with Snoop? Because I mean, when you say you grew up listening to him, I'm like, who didn't grow up listening to Snoop? I don't care what generation you're at. He has a song,
right?
one of the longest careers, and in my opinion, he's just getting started. As odd as that sounds, like he's on fire. I've seen some of the other work he's been putting out lately, and I'm like, oh man, what's he gonna think of next? Like, what was it like working with Snoop?
What I like about him is the visionary, and he inspires me to become a visionary. And it feels great to be mentored by someone who has been able to evolve and stay relevant. And not only that, but like being innovative. And being innovative is one of the things that will keep you, relevant for lifetime. And I admire that so much for him. So I feel very blessed to have him as a mentor and to be part of this new project that we're going to be releasing together, because I always said I want to learn from the best. And I've been blessed enough to have been surrounded by the best. And even like friendships of mine that are really good at what they do. They're the best at what they do. So look at Snoop Dogg. He's the best at what he does. So I'm very, very blessed. And, I have a lot of work to do, because if I want to be the best, I, got to stay on my A game too.
Yes, you do. Awesome.
Exactly. So he's a great inspiration for that.
So you've obviously been blessed, and then one of the things that you've been doing, and I mean this is obviously well before the Snoop collaboration and things, but I think it's a great time for me to bring it up. You've been blessed throughout your career, and you've also really made it a point to be a blessing. And let's talk about how you're doing that through ASAP Angel. So maybe first tell us a little bit more about your vision for the organization or for the nonprofit.
Yeah, ASAP Angel has been my little baby. I would say the vision I had since I was very young. And I'll tell you, the vision I had in two special moments of my life. The first one was when my father gifted me a violin. It was one of the happiest moments of my life. And the second one, I remember it was when my mom couldn't afford my violin lessons. So my violin teacher said, I'm going to teach you for free. And I will never forget about those two moments. And that's where Staff Angels came. Staff Angels was inspired on the two happiest moments of my life. And I said, if as a child, these two moments marked my life and they drove me to where I am right now, I said, that's my mission. My mission is to give instruments and musical education to less privileged communities, because I know this is going to spike a dream somewhere where the seed is planted. And when I was able in 2019 to do my first fundraiser for Staff Angels, it was right there. It was not yet, it was not a nonprofit yet, but I had the vision and the dream. And I did a concert in Santa Monica to raise funds to buy violins, 30 violins for kids in Colombia that I met from a foundation, and these kids didn't have their own violins, their own instruments. And when I went back home and I met them, I said, I'm going to come back with instruments for you guys. That's where everything started. And now we're able to deliver and give instruments to kids in less privileged communities. We have in Monteria, Colombia. We have in Bogota. Then we also have in Ensenada. Now we just opened here in Los Angeles. We're starting here in Los Angeles. I am the one teaching here in Los Angeles, so I started with 5 kids. But in the other countries, I have teachers and I have people that are already helping me run the organization. So it's been a very satisfactory work. And it's just starting, because it's going to be something that we need people that have the same vision and want to join and want to be united in this force, because we want to open schools. That's our focus, is to create build schools where the kids could come and have their classes. And it doesn't have to be only violin. We're offering piano. We're also offering singing. So it could keep expanding, and kids could become the next stars. And not only that, it could open many opportunities, create jobs for them when they grow up. They could, keep them away from drugs, from, crime and other things. Like, keep their mind, more focused on the arts. This would develop, a better opportunity in life for them.
That's great. And I know with any nonprofit, and especially one like this, there's always a thing, resources in terms of people getting involved, whether they like to get involved. What kind of things are you looking for? Are we looking for instruments? Are you looking for, donations, looking for expertise, helping to work? What kind of things is the organization looking for?
So we're looking for people who will want to donate their time, even teachers, people that know how to play instruments. They're like, what, we want to donate some time. Even we do Zoom classes. We're also, very grateful if people have instruments that they don't use. You can send it over to us, to Staff Angels, or people or companies or people that want to write off their taxes, to and donate and help. We also take donations, monetary donations, physical donations of instruments, time, volunteers. We're very grateful for each one of those. So in any way, this is a job that is not only for one person, it's for many, many visionary person. And, one person starts it and a group of people keep it and maintain it. So the more the merrier. And the more people, we're actually right now looking for volunteers and people that want to donate, because we're always needing more instruments. There's more kids that want to join the program, but now it's only myself, and I'm taking time out of my crazy schedule, and because I love it, and it's like my way of myself giving back also, not only running the nonprofit, but also myself being involved, because I like being involved with the kids. Taking the time and doing Zooms with them, but it's only a certain amount that I can take. So we're hoping to get more teachers here, because we just started about 2 weeks ago. So we're brand new in Los Angeles. So piano and violin, more than welcome.
That's wonderful. And and the website is asapangels.org. We'll put that in the show notes, and there's a big button on there that says to get involved, in a chat box and all kinds of great things. And you can see these big, beautiful pictures of the kids playing and just where your time and effort would be going to if you choose to participate and get involved, really inspiring and helping to create the next generation of musicians from all around the world. I think it's a great cause and really just a great mission overall. So great stuff there. And again, we'll put all the links in the show notes so that people can connect. So Esther, I know you're a busy woman, residency in Las Vegas, working with Snoop. They have the foundation, ASAP's Angels, and you got a lot going on. I have to ask, what's next? I mean, what's next for you? What's next on the agenda?
Well, we'll be releasing the song, how I mentioned before, on Wednesday. So this song is going to come out. We're going to be doing a lot of projects in the NFT world and playing a lot in the East Coast. So I'm expanding and hopefully announcing my fall tour, because that's one of our goals. My team is to do a fall tour with the music that we're going to be releasing. Also, I have a very big project coming for a Grammy submission in Spanish, the Latin Grammys. I'm working with Humberto Gatita, who is a 17-time Grammy winner. He made the song of Titanic, worked with Celine Dion for 25 years. So we are very, very excited to take this project into the next level and doing a lot of releases. We're doing simultaneously hitting the English market and the Spanish market. So a lot of music, I would say, coming up. And stay tuned in all my shows. Definitely would love to meet everybody that is listening to this podcast. And you have to come too. So the next show, I'm dragging you with me and Shrag, okay?
Oh. Good times. And if people are listening to this and they want to follow up and to connect with you and your music, I mean, what's the best way for people to connect?
So everybody could connect with me through my website, estheranaya.com. I have a direct inbox for myself that I check every day and weekly. So you guys could also follow me on Instagram at Esther Anaya. I just opened my Twitter, so I'm going to be announcing a lot of things through my Twitter at Esther Anaya NFT. And stay tuned with all my YouTube videos coming from the new music. I will also be uploading the video of the song with Snoop Dogg, the BAYC, and we should be uploading that video in the next month. So I'm very excited for that. So stay connected in any of your favorite platforms. I'm there.
Wonderful. And we'll put all that in the show notes and for all of our audience to go take a look and to connect. So thank you for that. And speaking of the audience, if this is your first time connecting with Mission Matters and listening to one of our shows, just to let you know, we're a platform that's all about bringing on entertainers, entrepreneurs, really thought leaders and pioneers, and having them share what their mission is, like what gets them fired up and excited to go out there into the world and really hone their craft and be a benefit to others all at the same time. If that sounds like interesting content to you or something that's exciting, then definitely hit that subscribe button, because we have many more mission-based individuals coming up on the line, and we don't want you to miss a thing. And Esther, really, it has been a pleasure watching your career, watching your music and your work. I look forward to that song dropping and to continue to listen to your work, and also to follow the progress of ASAP's Angels and how you're giving back. So again, thank you for coming on the show, Esther.
Thank you so much, Adam. Thank you for having me. It was a great time, and I can't wait to see you next time.